thank you very much. It's so important about the hidden jobs. I want to ask a little bit about the connections for the hidden jobs. Do you think the Finnish companies are give importance about the connections? For example, there is someone has for example, an expert in an area, but there is no any connection with the company, and there is someone another junior and has the connection with the company. This can be changed company to company, but generally in Finland, the company is looking for the connections. Really, they choose the people know better. What do you think about it?
Do you formulate kind of like the key question there?
Yes, about the connections. For example, if you know a company, they know you. Is it important for the companies, or they check generally mostly the skills?
It's a fine question. I think it goes kind of like in two ways. When the company makes an official decision, hey, we start recruiting, we start hiring, there tends to be then that, hey, there's a call for job applications, a job advert is put out, and then kind of like it almost doesn't matter, what's your, if you're known or not, because, applications are called in and then compared and etc. I think that the key is then to be able to communicate with people before that, kind of like when they start to consider, and to be sort of, if you like, known that you're a positive person, and you have acquired skills already, and then you are going to be motivated to learn more new skills, what's needed, and etc. And you have good integrity and whatnot, and and then I think the personality and the connections and networks, they can have quite a lot in play. So it's not easy to find a job via the networks, and it's especially the case when being a junior applicant. That's just, there's no hiding away from that fact, that the more experienced you become, the easier it is to find jobs via networks. That's just the sort of the dynamics of it all.
Yes, sometimes I'm looking at the applicants about the job advertisement. For example, if there is an entry-level job, I am seeing 80 people, 100 people apply. Yeah. If it's a middle-level job, sometimes 15 or 10 people apply. If it's the senior-level job, recruiter calls the IT professional and speak with him. If you're a junior, it's so hard to go in 100 people, and they will take only one person.
Yeah, it's very true. Just thinking about myself, when I was, very junior in recruitment, I was, applying for a job, and I was selected from, I think, 30 applicants. That was in 2011. Again, 2017, I applied. I was one of the 30 people applying or something like that, and I was selected. And then one more time I was applying, and then I was selected. Then the last 3 jobs I've found via phoning people or people phoning me, and there's just a huge contrast in between these situations, just not having the experience, being one of the many to be considered, and then you need to demonstrate your potential and your eagerness and the motivation and personality, and then then it changes, and all of a sudden you're the person you're being called to, and yeah, it's a different game then.
Yes, you are right. So hard game, but we have to find a way. We have to be positive. You are right. Thank you very much. The time is going so fast, and I want to summarize some of the questions. Generally, most of our friends are going to Finnish language course at the same time.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, they are going to boot camps. Also, there is another option in Finland, ICT ammatkoulu. There are too much ammatkoulu in Finland for the immigrants,
Yeah.
adult education. But these takes too much years, some of them 2 or 3 years. But if you go to a boot camp, 6 months, 10 months, you can finish a boot camp. What do you think about this? But one is in Finnish language, also in the meantime, they can be fluent in Finnish language, but the other one is in English language. Also, it comes with the language barrier. What do you think about the Finnish language importance in the IT area job applications?
I would say that the IT area is very much drawn to English, more and more, and everything is underlined on the skill. It's very much underlined, and I think to acquire skills at high enough level takes a lot of dedication and a lot of hard work and etc. And then I think to feel at home in Finland, it helps to know the Finnish or Swedish language. But I think when it comes to the jobs, to work as an IT expert, it will take a lot of time, even more time, I would argue, to master the Finnish language, for example, than to master the IT skills. And when you do them at the same time, it can be taxing. But I think there are different opinions on this, and my perspective, might not be the right one, but I feel that it is difficult to do them both at the same time, and IT companies hire only the best. So I would put my take on adding on the skills, but that's my opinion only.
Yes, thank you very much. Also, there is another question, but it's so hard to ask because, for example, I live in Finland and I love Finland. I didn't see any open discrimination in Finland for the immigrants. But what do you think? The question about the hidden discrimination. Is there a hidden discrimination in Finland? What's your opinion?
There was a study released 2 years ago. Can't remember the researcher's name, but he compared 5 different groups, kind of like sending CVs, similar CVs with different names and different nationalities and with similar language skills as well. And it was found out that the Finnish employers, they discriminate a little bit against people with coming from different backgrounds. That was the conclusion of that experimental piece of research. It's a sad result, but I think that's the best kind of like piece of knowledge that I can provide. It's been I think there was 2,000 CVs sent out and 5 different groups, so I think it was 400 CVs per group, and the names with Finnish Finnish nationality and Finnish names, they got the most invites, to be interviewed. So it's hard to hide away from this result.
Yes. Thank you very much. This is so important hearing this from you. Maybe the discrimination is maybe a hard word for this. I don't know. I'm not sure. But especially in the IT area, maybe it's getting better every day.
I would argue so. I think when it comes to discrimination in IT, I have a hard time thinking that it would be really be the case, because I think there's so many companies underlying that and highlighting that they are only interested in the skills. They are not interested in the background. They are only interested in the skills. And but I think sometimes the Finnish language requirements, there are consultancy companies serving, for example, for public sector, the cities, the state, and etc. And they require the Finnish language skills. And sometimes that can put people with a Finnish background also kind of like in front, and can feel like it's not fair. But I think at the end of the day, it's all about the skills, and sometimes a little bit of the technical skills. But unfortunately, sometimes it's also about the Finnish skills. But but I'm quite positive that things are also improving all the time.
Yes.